What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into Monday Night Raw from January the 27th, 2025. A pretty good show for the most part because of the ending with the back and forth promo between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. That was great. I also enjoyed the back and forth between Drew McIntyre and Paul Heyman. That was good. So this was a pretty okay show for the most part. And this was the go-home show to this Saturday's Royal Rumble, which should be good, especially from the men's perspective, because that thing is stacked to the brim. So we kicked the show off with Seth Rollins. He came out. He just said that he had a really bad start to 2025 so far. And he wanted to make that wrong right. And he's going to get redemption by throwing 29 other superstars over the top rope, including John Cena, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and Roman Reigns, and CM Punk as well. So then Gunther comes out. So Gunther and Seth Rollins, they do a little back and forth. Gunther wants Seth Rollins to win the Rumble. Gunther mentioned how he beat Jey Uso. Gunther continued to put over Seth Rollins and said that he used to be the face to WWE for so long, but now he's the main guy. He tells Seth Rollins that he's not the best wrestler anymore because that now belongs to him. And then Logan Paul comes out to a pretty good reaction. Logan Paul said that he's going to enter the Rumble, and he won't worry about throwing 29 other guys over the top rope. That's grunt work. He said he's going to work smarter, not harder. He says he has to just be the last one in the Rumble, and when he wins it, he's going to main event WrestleMania and choose Cody Rhodes and or Gunther. So that's fine, basically. So Logan Paul also says that he has more charisma than both Seth Rollins and Gunther, which is also true. Gunther tells Seth Rollins that he wants Logan to win the Rumble. That way he can go to WrestleMania and embarrass him. So, Seth Rollins says that, he laughs and he says the only person that's going to get embarrassed is Gunther if he decides to take his title back. So, that's fine. Forgot to mention, Seth Rollins talked about how he made the World Heavyweight Championship. So, I did like that. So, this was okay. Is Logan Paul going to win the Rumble? No. Logan Paul will probably come in, I would say, between 25 and 30. That's where he'll probably come in. So, he'll be in the final five for sure. He'll be in the final five. Who wins the Rumble? I don't know yet. But I've got a sneaky feeling it's going to be CM Punk. And it makes sense. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. Moving on. So this leads us into a backstage segment involving Karrion Kross. So, actually, no, it doesn't. It involves CM Punk. So he was talking to Kathy Kelly. CM Punk tells her that he thinks that Logan Paul will fare just like everybody else in the Rumble, not named CM Punk. And he tells her that if she was in the Rumble, he would eliminate her. Sami Zayn walks up to CM Punk, who tells him that he's heard what he said about him last week. And when he said Sami Zayn went on his level. And that's kind of true because only one of them main event WrestleMania, and the other one hasn't. That was good. I like that. Really good stuff there. So, Sami Zayn, he walks away, and then he's stopped by Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross tells Sami Zayn accidentally hitting Jey Uso must have felt good. Sami Zayn tells him he knows what he's doing, and Cross tells him to listen to Kevin Owens. It could be them at WrestleMania, and not to think with his heart, but to think with his head. And then Cody Rhodes comes in. Okay, that's fine. First match of the night, the War Raiders, they defeat JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. The World Tag Team Championships. I'm so sorry. The World Tag Team Championships. I don't know what I was thinking. That's fine. This match was pretty good, but JD McDonough is a real tough son of a bitch. I'll give it to him. Me personally, when he took that moonsault from, I believe it was Ivar or Eric, one of the two, wasn't really paying attention all that much, but I would have stopped the match there. I would have stopped it. Immediately, the match would have stopped. I hope he's okay. I really do. That was extremely scary. So, yeah. But JD McDonough is a tough son of a bitch for sure. So, hopefully he is okay. But we all figured that the War Raiders would retain anyway. Come on. That's common sense. The tag team division on both Raw and SmackDown are, in my opinion, quite boring. Moving on. So, Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser, they're walking around together backstage. So, Ludwig tells Pete Dunne that things didn't go his way last week, and someone should show that guy last week how things are done. So the New Day, they come in, they try to befriend him, and then both Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser, they walk away. Kathy Kelly comes in, and Kofi Kingston puts his arm on Xavier Woods and says that, and tells her that Atlanta's favorite son is in town. Kathy Kelly looks confused and asks if it's Braun Breaker. They tell her no. She asks if it's Austin Theory. They say no. She asks him if it's Cody Rhodes. They tell her no. And they say it's Xavier Woods. And Kofi says Xavier Woods asked his family. Kofi asked Xavier Woods if his family is in attendance yet. And Xavier Woods tells him not yet, but they better be soon because he paid a lot for the tickets. That was kind of funny though. So there's that. That's cool. That's cool. So this leads us into Rey Mysterio defeating Xavier Woods in his hometown of Atlanta. Towards the end of the match, Xavier Woods' family, they did show up. They ended up wearing New Day Sucks shirts, and Xavier Woods was very taken back by this and distraught, and Rey ended up winning. So that makes sense. He wins via the 619. They also mentioned on commentary that Zelina Vega is going to be shipped to SmackDown, which is great. Really good stuff there. So she's probably going to be managing Andrade, and I wouldn't mind if she has a little singles run of her own. I think that would be pretty fun, and that leads me to believe maybe Aleister Black will show up. Maybe. I'm not saying that he'll show up in the Rumble, but if he doesn't, he'll definitely show up maybe between after the Rumble and the Elimination Chamber. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But that makes perfect sense. And good stuff. Good stuff for the most part. Moving on. So, we see a clip of Sami Zayn accidentally hitting Seth Rollins with the Haluva kick last week. So we go backstage. Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn are together. Pause. Sami Zayn tells Seth Rollins what happened. It was an accident, and Seth Rollins looks unsure. Seth Rollins tells him he knows that was a mistake, but Sami has to understand why he feels like it might not have been a mistake. This thing with Sami, what this thing Sami Zayn has with Roman Reigns does not rest easy with people, including himself. He tells Sami Zayn that was a mistake, and but if someone like that, if something like that ever happens again, he can't He can't be sure it's going to be a mistake. And then so Seth Rollins tells him they're good, and that was it. Okay, that's fine. So then we get a Jey Uso Quavo segment. So Quavo's out there along with Killer Mike and who else was out there? 2 Chainz and other guys out there. So that's fine. They're trying to dig into the culture, which is not true. Look, man, wrestling, well, I'll say this. When it comes to WWE talking about the culture, they're not. They're just doing mainstream stuff. WWE is not really mainstream. You know, it's not. They think they are, but they're not in their league. They're not. Come on, man. We know Atlanta is still the black mecca of the world, basically. One of the black meccas of the world, next to DC. But it's the South's version of DC, basically. So, but it's not that important. So, Jey Uso mentioned his loss on Saturday. What happened with Gunther. He says both Seth and Gunther have their names in his mouth, and he knows what he has to do. He'll win the Royal Rumble, and he'll go on to main event WrestleMania and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. That's not gonna happen. And I like Jey Uso, but it's not gonna happen, bro. Give it a fucking rest already, Jay. It's not gonna happen, dog. It's not. Moving on. So, Lyra Valkyria, she's backstage with Jackie Redmond. So, Lyra tells Jackie that she'll take on the next big fight that's in front of her, and that's the Royal Rumble. So, she's now officially declared herself to enter in the Women's Royal Rumble. So, American Mayday come in. Chad Gable tells Lyra that Ivy Nile will take her Intercontinental title from her, and that was it. All right. Who really cares? But again, I really wish that WWE would quit trying to represent the culture. It doesn't make any sense. They're also mentioning like their albums, like Quavo's album and all that. 2 Chainz's new album and all that stuff. Like, come on, like y'all are not down like that. Like, fucking stop that shit. Stop it. Please stop that shit. Moving on. So this leads us into Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, they get the win. It is what it is. So we all know that Naomi is going to turn heel eventually. I know some people online have pitched Bianca should win the Rumble, but not really. And the reason why I say that is Bianca hasn't done much of anything this time, especially in the Triple H era of things. She has not done much of anything in a minute. Like, she was a top female. She was the top female when Vince was still there. And once he stepped down and everything else, and the Triple H era took effect, Bianca has been fallen. I mean, she's fallen by the wayside. And that's not good. But such is life. I hope that my girl can make a recovery, because Bianca kicks major ass. She should be better. She should be doing something better. She should win the Rumble again, but she's probably not going to at all. I mean, I like Bianca. I do. Maybe we get the Bianca and Rhea Ripley match next year at WrestleMania 42. So maybe that's where they, go with it. We have to wait and see, though. But I would imagine if Jade Cargill is still healthy, they're probably going to shoot. They're probably going to go for Bianca and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 41. We have to wait and see, though. Moving on. So, Kathy Kelly, she's backstage with Rhea Ripley. Rhea tells Kathy that her body is banged up, but just like she did in Australia, she reminded Nia why she's always on top. And then she asked her about the Rumble, that being Kathy Kelly. Rhea tells her it doesn't matter who wins, because if they wrestle her, they're going to get brutalized at WrestleMania. So Bayley comes in. She tells Rhea that she might see her at WrestleMania. And then Rhea tells her good luck. So Bayley then turns around, and then Io Sky walks in. She says she'll see Bayley on Saturday. So that's fine. Who cares? Moving right along. So we get a video package from Penta that airs, and he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match. That's great. Good shit there. Excellent. I love that shit. Moving on. Paul Heyman. So he comes out. He gets a really good reaction. Paul Heyman, he says that he's the one behind the one GOAT, the greatest of all time, the one and only tribal chief, the greatest of all, the only tribal chief and the one who represents WWE and the entire island of relevancy on the cover of WWE 2K25. So we see a giant cover that's displayed, and Roman is the face of the video game, which is great. Excellent. I love that shit. It kicks major fucking ass. So Paul Heyman says he's the one in the 29 versus 1. Roman Reigns is going back to the mindset of one versus all, because that is what this Royal Rumble is all about. Roman Reigns told everyone that he's going to take back the Ulafala. Roman Reigns then took back the Ulafala from Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman says now Roman Reigns is coming back for his championship, and it all starts this Saturday after the Rumble, because all 29 of them are coming after Roman Reigns. Not because Roman Reigns is just the biggest star on Netflix, not just the biggest star in WWE. He's the biggest star in the industry, on the face of the planet. When Elon Musk colonizes Mars, Roman will be the biggest star on that planet too. He says there are two types of men qualified for the Rumble. One is the one, Roman Reigns, and the others, it's just like everyone's in the locker room. They want to be Roman Reigns. And then so Paul Heyman gets on his knees, and he says they all get on their hands and knees at night and say, "Please, dear God, I want to be Roman Reigns." That was great. I love that. That was fucking awesome. That was great. So Drew McIntyre comes out, and Drew tells Paul Heyman that he looks nervous. So Drew puts his hand on Heyman's shoulder. So then the crowd breaks out in a "We Want Roman" chant. It's real loud. You can hear it. And then they also chanted "We Don't Care," which is funny, too. Drew tells Paul Heyman that he doesn't like him that very much. But he wants him to listen to it. So Drew tells Paul Heyman that he should love him because he's responsible for all the success. So Paul Heyman then looks confused, and Drew ran down what he did back in 2020. He said he's the daddy of the bloodline. So he mentioned when he beat Brock Lesnar and everything else. So Drew tells Paul Heyman that Drew tells Paul Heyman to do him a favor, basically. So Paul Heyman thanks Drew. He says that he's crowding him. Drew apologizes. He backs away. So Paul Heyman says he can do him a favor on Saturday. Drew tells Paul Heyman to tell his boy that this Saturday he's going to target him and beat him with an inch of his life and throw him over the top rope. And he's not talking about Roman Reigns. He's talking about his boy CM Punk. So that's fine. Really good stuff there. Really good shit there. Drew McIntyre defeats Sami Zayn. He wins. Okay, cool. They faced, 10 million times. And then post-match, Drew McIntyre beats up Sami Zayn. Cody Rhodes comes out to make the save. Kevin Owens shows up. They have a little fight for a small bit. And then Sami Zayn accidentally kicks Cody in the head. And he stands side by side with Kevin Owens. He didn't mean to, basically. So Kevin Owens looks pleased, and Sami Zayn's still all confused and whatnot. So, this is fine. Makes sense. Makes sense. So this leads us into the final segment. So Cody Rhodes is still in the ring, and Cody says it's the mindset and work that makes you champion. He mentioned how he's going to beat Kevin Owens, and he's ready to get past Kevin Owens and move past him. So CM Punk comes out. He mentions his title reign and how it lasted for 434 days. He says that him and Cody are friends. He says that Cody wants to be Bruno Sammartino. He wants to be John Cena, but no one is Superman. Cody says he doesn't have a lot of friends. He says CM Punk is his friend. So CM Punk then puts Cody over massively. Talks about how he has been a good champion, and how he goes to all the meetings and stuff and everything else. Basically, CM Punk and Cody had a really good back and forth. Cody told CM Punk that he's been chasing him for 10 years, but now CM Punk is chasing Cody Rhodes. So I do like that. So Punk also mentioned about how there was a graveyard of careers that he ended that tried to step him, that tried to get in the spotlight. So CM Punk tells Cody that he's next for Cody, and that he's not going to stab him in the back, he's going to stab him in the front. And so that was great. And then CM Punk said that there's a graveyard of careers of men who wanted to catch up to him and he did. So Cody Rhodes tells him that he wants him to win because he wants the best in the world to know he's not the best in the world anymore, and that was the end of the segment. This was great. I love this. It was a really good promo, back and forth promo. This was great. The crowd loved it. I loved it. This is arguably one of the biggest main events that you can do. Not just because it's a big fuck you to Tony Khan, but it is one of the biggest main events you can do for WrestleMania. Now, I do think that there will probably still be a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. I do think it's going to be Roman, Rock, and Cody. But it seems like CM Punk needs to be the guy who wins the Rumble. It makes the most sense. He needs it. If they're pushing him this hard, and CM Punk had a hell of a 2024, they need to push him extremely hard, because we don't know how long we have left with CM Punk. I'm hoping CM Punk can do this for another 2-3 years, but who knows? Seriously. But this was great. I love this. This was tremendous. Excellent stuff here. I am excited for the Royal Rumble, particularly the men versus over the women. And hopefully we do get some surprises for the Royal Rumble, but we'll have to wait and see. But Monday Night Raw was pretty good. Like I say, the CM Punk Cody Rhodes promo was great. The Paul Heyman Drew McIntyre stuff was great as well. Seth Rollins, Gunther, and Logan Paul, that was a pretty okay segment too. So there's that. But what did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.